Have you ever found yourself, like, standing right at a precipice, staring down a decision that could literally redefine everything you've painstakingly built? That kind of moment where the stakes aren't just high, they feel, well, all-consuming, and it forces you to look inward and ask, okay, what am I truly fighting for here? That's precisely the crossroads we're diving into today. We're looking at it through the incredible journey of Jay. He's a central character in Julian Kelly's Sparks of Innovation. That's book 6 in the Seasons of Success series, for those following along. And this isn't just a story, right? It's more like a masterclass in entrepreneurship, leadership, and that relentless pursuit of purpose when your whole empire just hangs in the balance.
Right. Think of this deep dive as maybe your express pass to understanding that intricate dance between, ambition, real innovation, and strategic leadership. We're going to unpack these elements, and it's all set against this backdrop of intense, almost existential competition. It reveals how these things really come together when the very foundations you've laid are, well, under siege.
Yeah. So our mission today is basically to pull out those essential nuggets of wisdom from Jay's story. The lessons on building, on protecting, and ultimately defining your legacy. Especially when those external pressures seem to mirror some deep internal reckoning, let's explore what it truly takes. So we open on Jay, and he seems to be at the pinnacle of success, right? He's built this global empire, Solar Solutions, but underneath it all, there's this palpable undercurrent of uncertainty. It's almost like he's grappling with some profound self-discovery, questioning the foundations of his achievements.
It's a classic leadership paradox, isn't it? Even at the height of external validation, real growth often comes from an internal pivot. Jay's not just asking, okay, what's next for the business? He's asking something deeper. What truly matters to me, and what is all this success actually for? It's a serious reevaluation of priorities, a challenge, frankly, many successful individuals face when that initial drive maybe fades a bit or new threats pop up.
And speaking of threats, the catalysts for this questioning are immediate and incredibly intense. First, there's this urgent call from Elijah. It's cryptic, right? Hinting at a storm brewing on the horizon.
Yeah.
A significant threat Jay is only just beginning to grasp. It feels personal, almost like a premonition, not just business.
And then, almost immediately, the plot thickens. Marcus's proposal lands on his desk. And this isn't just any offer. The source material describes it as fraught with danger. Their past, it's marked by both camaraderie and betrayal. There are old wounds there, ones that never fully healed. So this isn't just a potential partnership. It's a huge strategic dilemma rooted in a really complex history.
It's almost seductive, though, isn't it? The source mentions the allure of what Marcus offered, a chance to stay ahead of the curve, to innovate in ways that could redefine industries. You can almost feel the pull of that cutting-edge potential, even with the weight of past betrayals just hanging there in the air.
Exactly. And what's really compelling here is how these external pressures, the looming storm, this fraught partnership offer, they force Jay into this intense internal reckoning. The stakes aren't just about Solar Solutions' market share anymore. They're about Jay's own evolution as a leader. It's pushing him to his absolute limits. He's forced to decide, okay, what truly matters to him, and what is he willing to sacrifice to protect it? It's like this high-stakes game of business chess, but it's deeply intertwined with introspection.
And that internal reckoning, spurred by Elijah's call, it actually sends Jay deep into his past. He finds himself reflecting on his early days, specifically memories of a rooftop garden he used to share with Marcus. This spot was apparently where they'd discuss ideas, dream about the future, back when Marcus was more of a mentor, a friend, someone who really got Jay's ambition.
That formative relationship with Marcus, though, is absolutely key to understanding Jay's journey. What began as this collaborative mentorship, it eventually devolved. It turned into rivalry and even a battle for dominance, and that left lasting scars. It's a powerful illustration, really, of how shared ambition, if it's not managed carefully, can erode even the strongest bonds. It can turn allies into pretty formidable competitors.
And that whole idea of foundational influences, whether they're supportive or challenging, it clearly sent Jay even deeper into his memories, reminding him of another really profound figure, his grandfather, Elijah Marshall. His grandfather's workshop is painted as this almost magical place, filled with the smell of sawdust and oil. It's where Jay learned these fundamental lessons about hard work, the beauty of craftsmanship, and just the satisfaction of doing things well.
Yep. Absolutely. And it was there that Jay internalized some incredible potent principles. His grandfather would often say things like, every piece has a purpose. It's up to us to find it and bring it out.
Right.
And this wasn't just about wood, right? It was about finding the inherent value in everything, including people. He also taught Jay, You don't learn it all at once, Jay. You learn it by doing, by trying and failing and then trying again. That's how you master anything.
Yeah.
That idea of relentless perseverance became core.
Yeah, and what's particularly striking is his grandfather's mantra, the only way to fail is to stop trying. That provided an almost unbreakable foundation for Jay's later resilience, didn't it?
It really did.
And it wasn't just about the product either. His grandfather instilled in him that a good business isn't just about the product, it's about the people.
Mm-hmm.
It was about understanding needs, meeting needs, building genuine relationships, not just, making a sale.
And these weren't just abstract lessons floating around. Jay's first solo project, this small wooden box, it became his most prized possession. Not because of its material value, but because it sparked his ambition to actually create tangible value. Then, his first real entrepreneurial venture as a teenager, a simple lawn care service that taught him practical lessons. Customer satisfaction, the constant need to innovate, even in seemingly simple stuff.
It's pretty remarkable, isn't it, how these seemingly small early experiences laid such an incredibly strong foundation. A foundation for handling immense pressure and really complex decisions later in his life.
Totally. That initial spark, those deeply ingrained lessons, they truly set the stage for everything that followed.
Jay's first real chance to, flex his innovative muscles came when he was still in high school. Yeah. And it was driven by a very relatable problem in his small town. Frequent blackouts, apparently due to an outdated and overburdened power grid, especially during hot summers.
And what's fascinating here is how Jay didn't just see a nuisance, he saw an opportunity. He identified solar power as this untapped resource in his sunny town. His early experiments happened in a makeshift lab in the garage with his grandfather helping out. And the breakthrough wasn't like complex rocket science. It was a simple solar panel connected to a battery storage system that just kept his own house lit during a blackout. That practical, immediate solution, born out of necessity, well, it immediately grabbed people's attention.
Right, and that's where invention really met innovation. He sought out a high school science teacher, skeptical at first, apparently, but supportive. Together, they formed the Solar Squad with other students. They had success at a regional science fair, won top prize, and that attracted an investor, a retired engineer who saw Jay's drive and offered to fund the project, but on one condition. Jay had to commercialize the technology.
Yeah, that was the crucial leap, wasn't it? From just a clever idea to a potentially viable market solution. And this partnership led Jay to found Solar Solutions, focusing on providing practical, effective solutions for his community first. The company grew rapidly, mostly through word of mouth, which is a testament to the real-world problem it solved and, frankly, the quality of its implementation.
But, as often happens with disruptive innovation, growth inevitably attracts challengers. As Solar Solutions expanded, it faced a real battle against the larger established energy companies. They saw Jay's company as a direct threat. These incumbents started lobbying against solar incentives and spreading misinformation. Pretty classic tactics against new entrants, right?
Textbook tactics. But Jay didn't back down. He responded by speaking out, actively advocating for solar energy. He basically transformed his business into something more like a movement.
That really cemented Solar Solutions, didn't it? As more than just a company.
Definitely. It became a symbol of energy independence for his town. And it highlighted Jay's unwavering commitment to his vision, proving he was willing to fight for what he believed in, not just for profit.
So that local success started opening up new doors. And Jay actually received an invitation to speak at a tech summit out in Silicon Valley. Can you imagine? Still basically a kid, a high school student, feeling both exhilarated and, I bet, incredibly intimidated by the prospect of speaking to seasoned industry professionals.
Oh, absolutely. But his grandfather, always the wise mentor, saw this as a pivotal moment. He urged him, this is your chance to see the bigger picture. Go learn from it and bring that knowledge back.
Yeah.
So Jay went. He faced his initial self-doubt, standing amongst these titans, but ultimately he triumphed. And that experience, it profoundly shaped his understanding of the wider world and the importance of negotiation. Not just as a tactic for making deals, but as a strategic art, building relationships, finding common ground for mutual benefit.
And he immediately applied those lessons back home, didn't he? His first major negotiation after Silicon Valley was apparently with a solar panel supplier. He didn't just haggle over price. He secured a better deal by offering a larger order and co-branding, appealing to the supplier's longer-term interests and market reach. Smart.
So smart. But his most significant negotiation early on, securing that huge opportunity with a local government agency, a solar energy program for public buildings. That meant navigating layers of bureaucracy, multiple stakeholders, a really complex deal to close.
Right. And these experiences undeniably taught him he couldn't scale this thing alone.
Exactly. He realized the importance of assembling the right team. That was a lesson reinforced during his Silicon Valley trip, too. This led to some really strategic key hires across operations, sales, marketing, bringing in specialists who could streamline processes, rapidly grow the client base, build strong brand awareness, the works.
But it was more than just hiring people, right? Jay intentionally focused on cultivating a strong company culture. He fostered an environment where people felt valued, inspired, and empowered. The source mentions emphasis on open communication, collaboration, and innovation.
And he even prioritized work-life balance and implemented weekly team meetings, not just for updates, but to build community and a shared sense of purpose. Recognizing that a company's success is fundamentally tied to its people seems obvious, but so many forget it.
So true. Okay, so with a strong team in place and his leadership refined, Jay then turned his gaze outwards to global expansion.
Right. He strategically identified and started expanding into new markets: Latin America, Southeast Asia, Africa, places with surging demand for clean, affordable energy. His strategy was pretty clever, establishing partnerships with local companies first, launching pilot projects to really understand the local conditions and adapt his offerings. This taught him the crucial importance of adaptability and leveraging local knowledge and expertise, which in turn led him to recruit strong local teams in each region.
It shows a clear evolution in his leadership, doesn't it? From that solo entrepreneur tinkering in a garage to a leader building and empowering a decentralized global organization.
A massive evolution.
So Jay has built this incredible global enterprise. Solar Solutions is everywhere. But as we know, with immense scale comes, immense complexity and maybe even greater peril. Managing a multinational corporation meant strengthening regional teams, strategically decentralizing Solar Solutions operations to stay agile, while also implementing robust frameworks for accountability. Keeping everything coordinated across continents must have been a huge task.
Oh, huge. And think about the intricacies of cultural integration here. Managing all these diverse cultures within a single global company, that required deep investment. Things like cross-cultural training programs, diversity and inclusion workshops, really fostering a unified yet diverse global workforce. It's such a delicate balance, isn't it? Respecting local identity while building a cohesive global purpose.
Yeah, definitely. And on the operational front, he made these forward-thinking investments in a more resilient and efficient supply chain. Diversifying suppliers, improving logistics, integrating sustainability measures. It sounds like he was trying to prepare for a future he couldn't quite predict.
Exactly. Proactive efforts. But despite all that preparation, the unexpected struck. A major competitor suddenly announced a groundbreaking new technology, something with the potential to disrupt the entire market and potentially render Solar Solutions products obsolete. This was the kind of existential threat every founder dreads. Jay's biggest challenge ever, according to the source.
Wow. So as this competitor looms large, what does this all mean when everything you've painstakingly built is suddenly right on the line and the very ground beneath your feet feels like it's shifting?
Well, the pressure on Jay became just immense. He was working relentlessly, desperately trying to figure out how to either surpass or maybe integrate this competitor's new technology. And those familiar pangs of uncertainty from his earlier days, they were back, but amplified. It really highlights the lonely burden of leadership at that highest level.
And the stress, it inevitably began to fracture his team, didn't it? Conversations that were once optimistic were now apparently laced with doubt. Disagreements flared, revealing cracks that had long been hidden. Even his most trusted confidant, Ethan, became distant. What does that tell us? About maintaining morale and trust when external threats start exposing internal vulnerabilities.
It's such a critical question, because this is psychological warfare alongside the business battle. People get scared, they get uncertain. And amidst all this internal turmoil, Jay makes a profoundly risky move. He decides to reach out to the competitor, to explore a partnership or acquisition. He knew it could be seen as weakness, right? But he also calculated it might be the only way to secure Solar Solutions' place in this rapidly changing landscape.
But then, the twist, the shocking discovery. There's a mole inside our company feeding them information. Just devastating.
Absolutely. And the full revelation comes from Ethan, his confidant who'd been distant. It turns out the competitor's long-term plan isn't just to acquire Solar Solutions, it's to control the entire industry, systematically absorbing them or driving them out of business. Solar Solutions, it turns out, is just their next target, predatory.
Wow. So the walls are truly closing in now.
Completely. The competitor doesn't just make a bold offer, an acquisition, which sounds lucrative, yeah, but it cost Jay his independence, everything he built. They followed up almost immediately with a calculated legal challenge against Solar Solutions, claiming patent infringement, meticulously designed to cripple the company financially. It's a multi-pronged attack, business, legal, psychological, hitting him on every front.
Yet, in this moment, despite what must have been overwhelming fear and doubt, something shifts in Jay. His emotions are apparently replaced by a steely resolve. This is it. This is his moment, his chance to define his legacy. He's standing right there at the precipice again, facing this monumental choice: surrender everything he's built or fight for its very soul.
What's fascinating there is that sheer resilience, isn't it? After everything, it really challenges us to consider not just business survival tactics, but the very definition of one's purpose when you're facing such overwhelming odds. It asks that hard question. What principles do you refuse to compromise, even when the most lucrative, or maybe the seemingly logical path, demands that you do?
Jay's incredible journey really reminds us that every success story is this complex tapestry, right? Woven with threads of personal growth, incredibly tough choices, and just relentless determination. As he stands on that precipice facing the ultimate test of his vision and values, well, his story forces us to ask ourselves, when your life's work is on the line, what would you fight for? And what legacy do you truly want to build?
Yeah. And if we connect this to the bigger picture, it's such a powerful reminder. True leadership isn't just about scaling up, is it? It's about staying grounded in your core values, especially when the world is actively trying to shake them loose. What would you choose to stand for, even if it means walking a path that looks like an insurmountable challenge? Something to think about.